Hello and welcome to the Front End Horse live stream. My name is Alex Trost. It is so great to have you here. Thank you so much. We just got rated by Steph. Awesome show, Steph. Sorry I couldn't see each other at the very end, but thank you for bringing that party through. Some fantastic people in there. See Ben Myers in the chat already. I just saw Ashley Boyer and Adrian Engine followed. Thank you so much. Today's a really, really awesome episode. We're going to be learning a little bit about Eleventy and specifically about Slinkity, this new, I'm going to say plugin, but that might be totally wrong, but basically a way for us to use React templates in Eleventy. I'm super excited about it. I mainly use React, so to be able to use that as kind of the primary templating language in Eleventy with more languages to come, I'm super hyped about it. So without any further ado, let's bring in the creator. And I do want to say this is a brand new thing. Ben, our guest, has been working on this, and he's pretty much doing this solo. It's this cool project that he's working on. If we hit some bumps today, like that's completely understandable. I think it's still in Canary. We're going to be using like Eleventy Canary, so it's still this brand new thing, but I am so excited about it. So I wanted to get our hands on it to start and kind of see where it is, and maybe you in the audience can even help out with this project. So let's find out some more about it. And here is our host. I'm the host. Ben, you trying to take my job? I'm the host.
I'm the host.
Damn it. Here's our guest, Ben Holmes. How you doing, Ben?
How's it going, Alex host? Doing well. Yeah, had to come up with a pun. I mean, that's the whole thing. First line.
That's the whole thing. Yeah. Good to see you. I got some
great
great people in the chat.
Great.
Oh yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can talk a bit about what Slinkity is, because I'm sure I did a terrible job explaining it. So tell us a little bit about Ben Holmes.
Now you got it all right.
All right.
It's more than just a plugin, but it's mostly a plugin.
Okay.
Just with the little fancy logos and stuff on top. But yeah, I'm Ben. Official title that I've given myself is developer, designer, blogger person. I am a full stack web developer over at Peloton right now, doing a lot of React and such. Been doing web dev for as long as I can remember, I guess. And this is my first foray into open source work. And it is a little scary, but it's exciting that people want to check it out.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on to talk with us about it, because I totally understand how this can be scary. If it's your first project, you're kind of putting it out in the world. And I just love that it's starting to get some hype. I'm getting a little bit of buzzing back. Oh, cool. There we go.
Sorry.
All good. But yeah, I totally understand like the bit of like, oh man, I'm putting this thing out there, and people are really excited about it because it's something that like I'm not super comfortable with nunchucks or some of the other templating languages. Like I used to write in Twig a bunch for my last job, and it was fine, but I kind of like coming back to JSX just personally. And so as soon as I saw that you have an idea for how to get React and Vue and Svelte, and those are coming down the line, but all into Eleventy, I got very excited and super quick. Mike, thank you so much for that sub. 5 months, Mike, I can't. That's so incredibly generous. I can't. Thank you for that 5 month sub. I really appreciate it, Mike. Yeah, that's amazing. But yeah, Ben, so I totally get it. But Slinkity is going to basically allow people to pick up those different templating languages that they normally wouldn't have access to, right?
Yeah, pretty much. There's been a lot of experimental work around this recently. There's been a few projects out there that are just trying to bolt Vite and Eleventy together in some way. And for those that are unaware, Vite is a very fancy way to bundle anything that you throw at it. Like just make a directory, put in a React component or a Vue component or something, and Vite knows what to do with it. But people wanted to bring that into the world of like building super simple templates with nunchucks, as you said. Maybe you have a blog with a bunch of markdown files, and then you hit this little wall where you say, I've been building my site statically this whole time. It's worked out great. But for just this one page, just this one time, I want a little React spice right here. And I don't want it anywhere else. And that is actually a very tall order right now, because 11 is not really built with that in mind. It's built to just not have any JavaScript shift. It has no opinions about it. And that can feel kind of disheartening. I've seen a few people on Twitter now that are just like, well, now I've noticed it just because I'm looking for it. But people who are migrating from Eleventy to Next.js because they need a little JavaScript on like 5% of their site, maybe. And the only way to get it is to just migrate to a whole new experience and learn a whole new tech stack pretty much in order to get there. Which is why I've kind of called it like the two camps of web development, where you have like the big heavy JavaScript bundlers over here and the Jekyll lookalikes over here that are all kind of doing something without any JavaScript. And it's like most projects exist on a spectrum between those two, where it's like 80% static, 20% I need React, 80% I need Vue for all of these pages, super interactive, and 20% is just like home pages and informational pages. So why can't we have a tool that just lets you slide along that spectrum where you need to go? So that's really why this thing exists, I guess.
No, I think that's awesome, and I think I've heard it described before in some kind of like an island analogy. I'm not sure if you're the one that.
Yes.
Are you the one that shared that with me? It might have been shared in the Discord. Just like this analogy of like your web page is kind of made up of these islands, and like as you said, like 80% of it might just be static content, static whatever, and then you might have like a little island of like a book your next flight kind of thing, or something that needs to be interactive and needs that React aspect, right? Or would benefit greatly from something like React to keep state and all the JavaScript easy to work with. But for the most part, you don't need it across the rest of the site. If someone in the chat knows that we are not redoing my site in Eleventy today, that might be a future episode. But that's going to be a tall order for one thing. And really, I want to just kind of get into. I want to learn about Slinkity and kind of get a touch for Eleventy. We are doing Eleventy on Friday also. It's a big Eleventy week. I'm pretty excited about it. The other Ben in the Front End Horse Discord is going to be here teaching us a different Eleventy thing. So, but anyway, I'm not sure if anyone in the chat knows that island thing. If you do, drop it in, because it felt exactly like what you're saying, Ben. So.
Yes. No, you're right on the money with that. I actually coined the term island architecture. My middle name is Island, so it just kind of rolled off the tongue. Not really. Island architecture was started like years ago, I think.
Okay.
If you've heard of micro front ends,
yes,
that's where it started. And I kind of joined the collective groan in that, like, micro front ends. What is this? I just learned microservices. What does that mean? And at the time, it was a very heavy idea, because it was like, you were using Webpack to set it up, and you had to sort of register these Webpack processes for little islands of like React on this one page, and maybe React and Vue exist on the same page, and you have two runtimes that are running on these like little parts of your site, and that's tough to orchestrate with the tools back in like 2019 even.
Right.
But with stuff like Vite, it is way easier to do that now.
Okay.
And I actually do have a link I could share. That's from Astro. For those unaware, Astro has a very similar philosophy. But in their docs, they explain the island's architecture and how it sort of informed their decisions.
Awesome.
And
yeah.
There's tons of other think pieces on it, I'm sure. But this is the one that I read most recently.
That's awesome. And Adrian just dropped the blog post that I was thinking of from jasonformat.com. I appreciate that. And Dan Leatherman, I totally agree. If you haven't seen Ben's promo video for Slinkity, you need to watch it. That's what I think I found that first before I like started even chatting with you. Just saw you on the whiteboard, and it's just awesome promotional style. But I want to get into some Slinkity. You want to hop over to it?
No, I'm good.
No, okay, we can keep chatting. Anyway, islands. What's your favorite island?
Favorite island? Ooh.
Yeah. You can't say Rhode Island. Not actually an island. It doesn't count.
That's the first thing that came to mind.
I know. I knew, and I was gonna cut you off right at the base. Thank you for that follow. Thank you for that follow, person who just followed. I appreciate you. You have an unsayable name. I apologize. I try with all of them. All right, let's hop over to some of this good stuff. So I've got VS Code here. What do we want to do here in my little terminal?
Yeah. Well, sorry to direct you away, but maybe we could open up the quick start guide
I
over
love
on
it.
slinkity.dev and walk through that. Nice horse,
Let's
by
do
the
it.
way.
Thank you. I'll give you another one. Here's 3. There you go.
That's the Chrome extension, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
I
was
built
it?
it with
Oh,
Killian on
man.
stream. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives you
That's
random
great.
horses and the time. Cool. So we got our documentation here.
Yeah. Yeah, just head to that big pink documentation button
Needs to be bigger, I think.
right there. I think it need to follow Eleventy. Have you seen Eleventy's docs button? Okay, good.
Oh, no, no, that's not what I was referring to. Yeah.
You need to make it rainbow, at least.
Yes.
But okay. Yeah, this is an overview, once again, for the people in the back. This project is heavily under construction,
Yes.
which means very early alpha built by one guy and a friend who just started college classes. So it'll be some turbulence until we, get some stars, more contributors, more knowledgeable people in the chat. But anyways, basically what we're going to do is unlock React in our Eleventy sites, insert it wherever we want, and just roll into the quick start and let's see what happens.
Adrian commented on the logo animation, and this is just so good. Andrea, good to see you. Thanks for coming through. Love the style. So quick start. Okay, installation. First install Slinkity and the latest Eleventy into your project repo, like so. So I'm just copying and pasting this.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so we got
all you need is an
MPMI,
empty directory.
Yeah. Cool.
Like so.
We got a nice little Slinkity directory I just made. And what are we installing here? We're installing Slinkity and Eleventy at the latest Canary version.
Correct. Originally, Slinkity would install Eleventy for you, but if you had a site already running that used a different version of Eleventy, they could kind of mess with each other. So now you just have to have both. And once 1.0 is out, you can drop that whole Canary business.
Cool.
But it all depends on the milestones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
So now we have it in our project.
Nice.
And that's our disclaimer. And you should be good to just start a server.
Okay. Cool. So just go ahead npx slinkity serve. That's just fun to say. Slinkity serve is just rolls off the tongue.
Slinkity serve.
That's why you named it this, right?
I wanted to find the URL slinkity.start because everyone's using like remix.run, astro.build.
Now this is expected, right? Just because we don't have anything in there yet.
We've done nothing,
cool.
But we have a nice little console output, so it means we're moving.
Cool. Yeah. Dev server running. We got it.
We did it. So now let's go ahead and add some stuff. If you head back over to the quick start, we have a little template of something we can add.
Oh, I almost closed the wrong thing. I kept about to keep the horses and close Slinkity.
Keep the horse.
Let's do the other way around. All right, off to the races. Cool. I love that, by the way. Let's keep those kinds of phrases in there.
Excellent.
Okay, so now what? Am I gonna run this?
Yep. We can do that. Well, there's nothing to production build yet either. But that's what we will use to see what the production bundle will look like. And Vite pushes that through a tool called Rollup for anyone familiar with it. And that just goes through all of your components and your variables, squashes them down, minifies them, changes them to one letter variable names, anything that makes it efficient. And it'll just do all that for us. We barely modified Vite at all. It's very smart about what it does. But yeah, this is something that we can just throw in an index.html file.
Cool. And while we do that, Mike in the chat, Wiz says, why did you go with Vite?
It's a great question. Because in the original promo video, it said Snowpack. I'm well aware of that, and it's still on our homepage awkwardly.
I don't think Wiz Mike is coming for you with the Snowpack thing. You think he's just kidding?
Hey, no, I just wanted to mention it because we were using Snowpack for a bit, and that was on a much different build of Slinkity. And basically what happened is I was planning to release this a month from now. It wasn't even going to be public at this point of time. I had no plans. And then I was just talking to some people over on the React podcast Discord. If anyone in the audience is there, it's great. But they pressured me into releasing something because there's no reason to hang on to it. I just said, okay, Tuesday. I didn't know what was going to launch on Tuesday or what it would include. It's just Tuesday, we're going to announce something. And in order to get it working for that launch date, I was rebuilding Slinkity from the ground up for about the 5th time because I just wanted to go through it and build the most pared down version possible that wouldn't have a bunch of empty promises, maybe. So got a basic version working. Snowpack was throwing some interesting issues, mostly around, what was it? There were a few things.
So it came down to shipping, basically? It came down to just
it
Vite
came down
got
to
it out
shipping.
the door? Okay.
And jumping ship to Vite made it quicker, I'll be honest.
That's a perfectly good reason to do anything, honestly. If something gets me the job done, that's the thing I'm running with.
Yeah. But it's a testament to how similar these tools are. Like,
Right.
I just jumped Snowpack to Vite, I changed 10 lines of code, and suddenly everything was Vite. And it worked almost the same. And one little extra spice Vite adds is all that production bundling madness I explained, where it's like minifying, changing variable names, all of that. But Snowpack has that, but it requires some more manual setup. I don't think they use rollup out of the box, so you lose some options there.
Okay.
Their one benefit is that they bundle faster because they're not using rollup. So I could switch back to Snowpack if I am persuaded enough and I find some ways to sort of duplicate our Vite setup over there. But for now, Vite's been working great.
Cool.
I have very, very few complaints. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's really it.
Cool. Well, thanks for the question, Wiz Mike. And Mike points out that it's pronounced Vitae. I don't think that's true. I don't know.
That is false. That's
I think Mike's just trying to get us to say stuff on air, and I support it. All right, so I popped this in. Now, should we have, look, Ma, it's Slinkity. We've got a page up. So we dropped a little bit of HTML in here, and we're seeing it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you can see it outputs to that _site folder. And it works the same as in Eleventy, where you can just choose whatever output folder you want. The default is _site. And it's a 2-step build process where Eleventy puts all of your templates in site, and then Vite goes and looks at site to see if there's any JavaScript that was left untouched. So it's sort of one handing off to the other like an assembly line, and then you get the output on the server on the other end.
Okay, so the second step, that Vite going through, that's where Slinkity comes in?
Well, Slinkity,
I'm not super familiar with Eleventy. So like like vanilla Eleventy would just do basically what we just did, but Slinkity is going to also go through and check for JavaScript and render any React templates into a format that
our browser can understand pretty much.
Okay.
Vanilla Eleventy would just put everything in _site, same as you're seeing, and then it would use browser sync if you're using the serve flag, and that's how you would just see the server. And of course, browser sync doesn't bundle anything; it just shows you what's in a folder.
Got it.
On the other side, but Slinkity is replacing browser sync with Vite so that it can have a really nice dev server that's similar to browser sync. Vite handles that for you as well. And also process JavaScript if it exists.
Okay.
So Vite is basically browser sync with a bundler.
Cool.
If you want to look at it that way.
No, that's a helpful analogy. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And Killian says that if it's French, it's more like feet, but with a V. So yeah, perfect. Yeah, Vite. So feet. Fun. I think we've been nailing it. Missed opportunity to put a Slinky from Toy Story picture. Cool.
God.
It's all good.
No, the real reason it's called Slinkity is because I wanted to build something with Slinkies as merch someday.
I think it's genius. So, as someone who wanted to make something with horses, I'm right there with you, buddy. I fully support this. All right. Yes. So what's up next? Let's check out our quick start guide.
Yes.
If you run this, cool. If you decide something interactive, all right, nice. This is a great quick start guide, by the way. This is very well done.
It's nice and short.
Yeah. I mean, and then you're going to pick up from there, or we're going to end it. We'll see. But say you're keeping track of how many glasses of water we had today, because hydration is important. Nice little nod. If we know a little React.js, we can whip up a counter component under the includes components directory. Okay, so I want to add a directory called this.
Yes.
_include /components. Okay. New folder. Just going to paste that in. Okay.
Nice.
And then So we're going to want to copy this glass counter JSX file, and then we can take a look at it.
Yes.
Does it have to be a JSX file? Does that help with Slinkity, or can it be a JS file?
It cannot be a JS file,
Okay.
but we expose the Vite config. So if you want to like add your own bundling config and say JS is my components, I've never tested it, but 50% sure it'll work.
50%. That's plenty for me.
50%.
That's all I need.
Okay.
Ship it into production. That's perfect. Oh,
We'll take
awesome.
it.
Okay, cool. And then includes components. They could copy this directory over to your build. Got it. Next, go ahead and install React and React DOM. That makes sense. Okay, cool. So go ahead and run this. We shouldn't really see anything from this because we didn't include it in our index.html or anything. Like there's no reason to see that glass counter here.
Yeah. You can actually jump down here to see what happens if you don't have React. But that right there, that last code block.
This right here?
Yes. That second line below the H1.
Yeah.
You can just paste that in.
Got it. Okay.
To our index.
Let's see it freak out. Copied one file.
Yeah.
I see some red. React liquid shortcode. Oh, it's just breaking on us.
Can't find React.
Makes sense. Let's do it. Yeah,
so that's all. That's
try
all
to
we
import
got.
it here. Makes sense. All right.
It imports. Yes.
Steph says, "Me who spends a lot of time downloading IDEs. Where IDE? Oh, sorry. I thought that was Steph just because it started with a number. That's 8. 8. Sorry, Steph. I see numbers that I think it's you. Where IDE? I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I know what an IDE is, just not sure in context. Anthony wants to do something with pigeons. They're such a weird bird. Oh, so back to the Slinkies and the horses. Pigeons are great. Like that book. Any parents in the audience who know Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus? Great book. Great book. I have no idea. Killian, stop outing me, all right? I know what an IDE is. You tell me so I know that you know what it is, Killian, all right? You tell me first. Cool. So I just added React, and so we should be able to run it again, and we shouldn't get that error, correct?
Yes.
50% chance.
Confidently says.
Cool.
Okay, so we got that, and not much interesting is happening, but once you refresh your browser, it should go ahead and insert our component like that and hit add one. Oh no, you're kidding.
It's all good. We'll check it out. I didn't refresh the page. Let's see if we're getting a console error or anything. Uncaught error. Following module does not provide an export name default. Node modules React index.js. Interesting. Let me kill the server and run it again.
Okay, yeah.
It's all good either way. Index, React, components, glass counter.
Oh, we didn't export it, or did we?
Double
check.
For glass counter?
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see.
So we export that.
Interesting. Let's see if anyone in the chat knows what's up. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
AT70. Yeah. I was just playing.
React.
And Dan knows what's
up. It's something to do with our React install, which is quite odd.
Let's try that again then.
Yeah, it can't find React, or it's looking for a default export
in a different way, because the first time it broke when we tried to break it, it
broke the right way for sure.
Yeah.
You do not need to add React to a config. Okay.
Good question, EcoMath. Appreciate that. Also, good to see you. Thanks for coming through. Yeah.
I'm still not sure.
All good.
Okay. We may have to. I don't want to dive into source code here, but
I mean, honestly, we would just be changing the scope of this.
Yeah.
Let's add a new feature to Slinkity. All right, so let's go Slinkity node modules React.
Is remarkably weird.
Oh, good. Let's just see what's up with that. Why would? Yeah, here we go. React.
Index.
Something about the way this is exported.
Oh my gosh, I am out of my element. I've never seen this.
Ecomat says React doesn't do ESM by default, which feels like the source of the error.
Right. But
Dan.
Vite is smart enough to process that away, or I assume. That is, oh my gosh, what is going on?
So one difference could be Windows. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Could that be a difference? I'm just throwing that out there because
I know this.
Okay.
Can you check your npm version? Maybe. That is good.
Okay.
And your node version? That's good as well. Gosh.
Just checking the Slinkity version.
Oh yeah, you'd have to npx.
As a mood
unless you add
lightener,
it as a
not as a real thing, Ben. Just trying to lighten the mood.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it, man. This is all good. All good. So
where is it?
It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, don't even sweat it.
Yeah, click into Slinkity mount point there.
Oh,
I just want to see.
Wait, where?
Or restart the server.
Okay.
Or restart the server and then just click into it in the browser here.
Right. Wait.
Yeah, click into that first.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Inspect. And then click into that link right there, Slinkity React mount point. There, in the area, yes.
Cool.
Import React from, yes.
Repos.
That is right.
Node modules React index.js.
It's supposed to know what to do here. It's always known what to do.
Yeah, I mean this is all correct. Look, I don't know the @fs. I'm assuming
that's right.
File
this
system.
Is all correct.
Cool. No worries. So what we could do, it might take a second. We have to put up like a BRB thing, but if you want, we could do it kind of a reverse where we do it on your screen because it might be something on my computer.
We can.
Okay.
I was hoping to not do this.
I mean,
but we can.
It's really fine. Let me just get that set up. What does the @fs do? Good question. I mean, I'm assuming that's a file system or something.
That goes to file system, and it's able to go find it.
Okay.
At least that's what Vite should be doing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Let me check at least. I'm pulling up my own editor here.
Yeah. Does not provide an export named default.
Correct, but man, okay.
That's weird.
So if I head to here,
This is module exports. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to take another like however much time, and then we can hop over to your computer if we can't get it working here.
I think that's for the best. Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. So hang on 1 second. I'm just gonna do a little bit of stuff behind the scenes. We're just gonna put up a BRB thing real quick. We'll be right back in like a minute. All right. Hang in there. Oh, Marlon says, can you go to your package JSON real quick? Let's just throw that as like a Hail Mary real quick.
Let's go ahead and.
Wait,
you don't have one.
What's?
Oh, okay. How about this?
Marlon,
Run npm init-y.
Oh,
we should definitely add this to the docs.
Yeah,
npm init-y.
npm. Marlon. All right.
Okay, we've done that. Now let's reinstall everything.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and just install.
Okay.
Yeah.
So really, what we're debugging is the docs.
Yeah, we should definitely tell you to init your package first.
Cool.
So I would say delete node modules and the package lock. And let's at least just reset our dependencies
delete.
Here.
All right. No, Marlon, good call on that. Let's see if that is it. The nick of time too. The nick of time.
The nick of time.
Hold on, I have to like maybe dip into a thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I disappear when I have to go confirm that thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did because my whole screen went blank, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. I had to confirm in Windows. Just delete it, please.
Yeah,
all right,
please.
cool. So it's such a pain in the butt to delete folders in Windows sometimes. All right.
That's funny.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. So we got node modules.
So
We're
we've
getting
done
rid of
this.
those. I did npm init before I did
Excellent.
npm install Eleventy, etc. And that did work on my machine. Awesome. Thank you for the feedback.
Thank you for following along as well.
Yeah, really appreciate
Yes.
you, chat. Really
Yes.
appreciate you. All right,
I
cool.
will.
As soon
Thanks
as
for
node modules,
debugging my docs.
8070. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. You are now a horse. Also, I am reading what you're saying, 8070. It sounds awesome that you made a game in assembly. That's really cool. I'd love to hear more about that. Join the Discord. I would love to check that out at some time. Just can't right now, and we're trying to figure this out. Also, why are you doing this? Why are you being a jerk?
I'm not sure yet.
Not anyone here. My computer. Why is node modules not going? Deleting node modules.
Just try an
Cool.
rm-rf maybe.
RM.
Sure.
Oh, it's gone now. Here we go.
Ah,
as soon as I
alright.
threatened it, here we go. So we are now doing this. And npmi
Yes.
save dev. Okay.
Add that.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
Refusing to install a package named Slinkity under a package named Slinkity. Should we just nuke like pretty much
Oh,
everything?
your folder's name is Slinkity, and that's a problem now?
That's weird.
Huh. Maybe rename your project to Slinkity-learning or something.
Wait, or is it just that?
I've never seen that.
Yeah, this is weird. How do I rename the folder I'm in? CD. Wait, R.
Yeah, you can back out.
And then what's the thing in PowerShell? I don't know the PowerShell commands yet.
Oh,
of
no.
course. Of course, people. This is. Of course. Hang on.
Start fresh? Maybe.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, you know
Maybe.
what? Let's.
Maybe let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. All right. So.
Move. Oh yeah,
create
Move does
directory,
it. Of course, Move does that.
Slinkity project. Really creative. What? Oh no.
Make directory. Make
yeah.
directory. Yep. Okay. We'll head over there.
Cool. All right. So now, people, we are back on
npm
track.
init-y, and then follow my instructions. Okay. npm init-y. And for those unaware, -y just fast forwards you through the process without all the prompts for what to put in the package.
Just says
We're
yes to
professionals,
everything.
and we don't add details.
Spare Verde says that folder name is not the issue on Mac OS. I also use Slinkity as a folder name. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's something in like the package JSON or something that was weird. with
Yeah, me
Slinkity
too. It might just be that.
Okay, closing out of this one.
I was
We're
just
getting
curious.
closer, people. We're getting closer. Really appreciate. Okay, this is looking better.
right.
We've got a package and a package lock. Let's go
That's
back
how
to
it should be.
directions.
Okay.
Now we can do serve.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can do that.
Or yeah, I
See,
guess we
see
can
that
hold
it's
off.
still working. It
Yeah.
is. All right. Now
doc
just
type,
throw
new
that.
file index. Cool. All right, and
Okay.
then we're going to grab this glass counter, and fun fact. So we're doing it in includes. Alan, thank you for that sub. Thank you so much. Wow, that was super kind. For 3 months. Holy smokes, Alan, thank you so much, man. All right, so we're doing underscore includes.
Yes.
/ components.
Yeah. Yes.
/
And I'll explain what that means once it works.
JSX.
Yes.
Did that? Ah, come on.
It doesn't
I
do
thought
that.
that was a trick. I could have sworn
That's
that
a
was
trick in an IDE.
No, it's
if
a
you've
VS
heard of
Code
those.
trick too. Leave me alone. Dang it. All right, here we go.
I know you can do it with folders, but not. Yeah, we can do that.
Cannot start with a slash, right? All right, we're doing this
Oh,
again.
maybe that was it. I don't know.
Man.
Class
Here
counter.
we go. All right, we got this
Yes.
copied. Cool.
Put
and
it
then
in.
we're going to install React. We're getting there. If you just came in and you're watching a speed run this, you're wondering, what the heck? How is anyone supposed to
go
follow
back.
this?
Go back. Explain that.
We are
will
catching
explain
up.
The output.
Yeah, I did borrow it on the second try. I tried. I did that as like a maybe this will work kind of thing. Because I originally didn't. I tried to add it as a file, and then I went back and added a slash. That didn't work either.
Yep.
So. Cool.
All right.
Got that. And now
Let's run it.
Yeah, so that's Slinkity or npx Slinkity serve.
Yep. You can also add it as a npm command, like
Awesome.
npm start. And if you do that, you don't need npx anymore. I just learned
nice.
about that.
Okay, hold on.
Now it's doing the good stuff.
That looks like stuff. That looks like stuff's
Yeah,
happening.
That's Vite noticing, oh, React's in this. I think that's in your node modules. Let
Okay.
me go find it and put it in my server
We
so
did
I
it.
can serve you up React.
Marlon just saved the stream. Marlon,
He
thank you so
did.
much for being
Thank
here
you,
and
Marlon.
noticing and just being yourself. Really appreciate you. Cool.
I'll tag you in the pull request when we update those docs.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so let's check out our page.
Okay, let's see. Let's
Refresh
see.
this.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
works. We've got
Look
React
at
inside
that.
Eleventy, and it works fantastic.
Incredible.
Awesome. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Now what? Now
Actually,
we can go back to
just for
normal
fun.
speed. Yeah.
Yeah, we can. So let's actually go look at that underscore site and see what the build output is,
Okay.
because the beautiful thing about this is that it's a readable build. We're
Nice.
not intimidated by our build folder anymore.
I mean, I am intimidated
It's a
by
little
whatever I want to
intimidating.
be. Don't tell me what I'm
Okay.
intimidated by.
Yes.
Just what?
We're actually going to modify this a little
Oh,
further once we get
wait.
lazy loading working better.
This is the
Bonus.
output.
Yes, we literally output that, and
Whoa.
then not Slinkity, Vite.
Feet.
What Vite does is, you would think, like most bundlers, it would take in an input and then create a dist folder or something with the output. But Vite is actually compiling all your stuff on the fly, which means that in this case, it's going to look and see glasscounter.jsx and then have a little internal cache that I think is inside your node modules, actually, where it's just keeping track of all those little dependencies and then putting them in your server. So it's totally invisible to you. You don't even know about what it's building. Yeah, that's actually what it's making.
Wow, that's really cool.
You don't have to worry about the internal details. And the main nicety of that is you don't have to have two build folders. I was worried you'd have to have like the Eleventy build folder and then the Vite folder that's based on it, but it just does it in place. And we have a similar setup to make production work for that.
That's
but
fantastic.
Yeah, that's really what's up.
Awesome.
But poking around that index file.
Gotta hydrate. And I was supposed to say, thank you for the follow, Xanax too. But poking around, gotta hydrate. Hold on. Gotta follow chat rules. All right, poking around the site includes components folder.
No, the index.html file actually.
Cool.
In the output.
I got it.
Yep. So I just wanted to say, like, what is this?
Right.
So what it's doing is on the top there, you can see it says Slinkity React mount point on line 9.
Just make this bigger for everybody.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this guy is what we call a custom element or a web component, if you want to use that term. It's something that we define that says, okay, this is something that Slinkity has generated. And this is going to be the root of your React tree that you've just created with glasscounter.jsx. And you can see right there, it literally just says the path. And it says, okay, the path to it is glasscounter.jsx. And the type is shortcode. We have a couple other details in here that are just for Slinkity to work. Don't worry about those. But on the inside, you can see the actual HTML of your glass counters rendered out.
Right.
And it generates 0 to start. And that's because we're using hydration, which basically means we're going to statically render everything that we can in your component. In this case, we knew, okay, 0 is the default value for this state variable. We'll chuck it in there. And we know the value of this text, so we'll put that in. And then at runtime, we have that little script just below it that's going to go look for that web component that we just created and render the component inside of it. So it's going to take that HTML and replace it with JavaScript React tree, pretty much. So if you disable JavaScript in your browser, you get something. You still get it. You just
pretty much get
have to wait on
we
this
had. I
Yes.
mean, like, we kind of had JavaScript disabled in a sense in that React wasn't loading, so saw kind of the output. It was just this, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly that. And
Very
this
cool.
is something that static site generators have been doing. I know you use Gatsby a lot. This is exactly what they're doing. And we have it in development as well, which is something that Gatsby doesn't do, from what I understand, where in their case, they automatically render it for your production build.
Right.
But in development, it's still just like div ID main, put everything in.
Yeah.
We may have to disable this in the future if it messes with hot reloading. We've noticed some like weird flashes, but see right now. So we're just going to keep it and see how it goes.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's what this is doing, if that makes any sense. I just wanted to
Yeah.
explore it to see if we could sort of piece it apart.
No, absolutely. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. Could you? I'm sure you would explain it better. Thank you for the follow, CarolNet. I'm sure you explained it better than me. Just like in a few sentences, what is hydration? I kind of touched on it just now, but it's just basically like if someone's just not familiar with that.
Yeah. So hydration is every day, and it's also basically taking. If you have like a JavaScript-driven component like React, we first try to get all of the HTML out of it that we can. We basically juice it and say, okay, we know this paragraph is always going to evaluate to you've had 0 glasses of water. So we'll render that to some HTML, and then we'll insert it onto the page. And then we will add a little script tag that goes and looks for that HTML and apply a bunch of like, for example, it's going to look through that HTML and see, oh, this button has an on-click event according to this React tree that I'm looking at right now. And so I'm going to add a click event to that button and then hook React runtime. So React's able to say, okay, this button is now Reactified. And when I click it, I'm going to update the count that was in my HTML. So it's just adding, it's making JavaScript work with some HTML that you rendered ahead.
Cool. Awesome. And yes, someone said hydration. Nice.
Yes,
and then vProwl said, does it work like React Portal? And then it injects React into the page, but 3 different ways. I think it's a pretty different concept.
I don't know how React Portal works.
Yeah, I don't have a huge grip on React Portal, but
I know that's like if you declare a component somewhere and it actually renders somewhere in the document, you usually use it for modals, I guess.
Right.
Where you say this code's going to. This is kind of just how basic React works, where if you just enable hydration somehow, and you are able to render that HTML, which I'm doing with Eleventy, by the way, then you're able to just mount React and write a little script that will mount into this mount point here.
Cool.
So
awesome.
I guess the answer is no.
Yeah. I think it's
I will
pretty
look
different.
Into it.
We've got our like boilerplate sort of setup. What do we want to do with this now?
Yeah. I mean, one thing that we can explore is how the lazy operator works, and then we can try to build something that's like not this like basic boilerplate stuff. We'll try to work on a project. But yeah, let's go ahead and open up the regular index HTML.
The like the source.
This guy, one. Yeah. And in our short right there on line 11.
Cool.
What I'll have you do is space, and then in quotes the word render, and then close that, and then space easy. Yep. And we should see, I guess it's hiding some of our terminal output.
Yeah.
So it should work pretty much the same.
Okay. As before here.
Yes. So that is still working.
Cool.
So something we off is maybe on our body tag, just add some inline styles that say like margin 10,000 pixels or margin top. Okay. Because what this operator does is it waits to load your component until it's actually on the.
Okay.
So it's a way to sort of delay the loading of, and it works a little unexpectedly right now. But if you click, it should still work as it did before.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we can actually check the network activity to verify that this is like doing the thing. So if you just like scroll up and yeah, you'll refresh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So no scroll down.
It'll load some things. It's gonna and scroll a little down. Do. There it is.
Nice.
So we wait to load your glass component and whatever dependencies that component might have.
That's great. So we're so just so I understand, we're waiting to call for the JavaScript and then we run the JavaScript until it appears on the screen.
Yes. And I don't know if you've worked with it before, but intersection. I think I've seen that in your newsletter actually.
I think so, yeah. But I appreciate the shout out.
Yeah, go follow Front End Horse newsletter today.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just using intersection observer and saying, is it on the page yet? Okay, great. We'll fire.
Cool.
And there's a little bug right now. If you scroll up and scroll back down, it'll just load it again. Being resolved soon. Don't worry.
It seems
it
like
actually
it's
doesn't.
resolved already.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
All
it does it
good.
in production maybe. But yeah, we're working on making this a
Yeah.
little more stable, and we're working on delaying the loading of React itself. Notice it delays the loading of your component, but it'll still load like the runtime when the page loads, and it's one of them. I wouldn't
Okay.
worry about it too much. It's
Yeah.
a chunk.
I was just
It's
curious.
a chunk.
Got it.
But yeah,
That's the React DevTools backend.
Yep. I actually worked on it on a plane ride last night, and I think I got it working.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and test it and make sure.
Nice.
Maybe have some other people go try it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Steph asks, do those ELS will show up for AT and in-page search? I don't know ELS or AT.
Is that she just means elements, I think, for else. But
right.
In-page search, that is it, because it's statically rendered, it should still appear in search. We're only delaying the hydration step.
So like
so
if we
it's
look
not an empty div.
Inspect,
yeah.
It's still in the body.
Yeah.
In this one?
It's in there. So we should still see paragraphs,
of water, but if we look at work, it'll still call for the JavaScript only when we scroll down. Got it. Cool. Elements and assistive technologies. Thank you. I appreciate it. Assistive technologies. I mean, I would assume so in the way that a static thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's really awesome.
Yes. So yes, it will work. And if you try to do like a regular find in page, it would work as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's there. And the last render option that you can use is render static, and that will just not hydrate ever. It will just render it to HTML and not ship JavaScript whatsoever.
That's super handy.
If we do that,
and so instead of lazy, do static. It's like that. Awesome.
Yep. If we go ahead and do that,
I'll bring back my. Hold on. I'll bring this back. I'm rolling. Static.
Oh, it's not necessary actually.
No,
it should just do the thing.
Cool.
So yeah, and if you click the button, it will not
do
work.
Nothing, right?
Because now we don't ship it.
So that's great. Just React. I mean, like for me, I've got a Gatsby site, but as you said, it's probably like 80% stuff that doesn't need to be active, right? Like it just needs to be statically rendered, and then might have some state and might have some interactivity. So on the majority of my components, if I build it with Slinkity, I could just put that static tag on there and never call for the JavaScript bundle that I'm kind of not even using, right?
Exactly. Yeah. This is the part that is definitely not stolen from Astro at all. This is their bread and butter, actually.
Really?
We use different names though. I think they use the default behavior is static actually in their universe. We made it not static because we just wanted a quick start guide that we interesting, and we thought people want to opt out. But we might flip that because Eleventy's ethos to make it static by default and opt into JavaScript. So at the end of the day, we'll make it like a global option that you can change, where it's like my project's static for the most part. Let me static default maybe.
Right.
And then you can do it that way. But yeah, Astro team has a few other interesting options, like using media queries to decide when JavaScript loads. Like on mobile to load here, on desktop I want it to load here. That's so instead of doing it based on when it's on the page, you can do it by like my layout is very fancy and I need a media query to figure this out. And it is crazy how easy that is to implement. It's just a web API that you can just say check media query, and then if it returns true, fire the thing. So we could ship it tonight. I don't know, but I would love to get in on that and try that out. But they have a bunch of rendering options that we'll probably just port over directly and see if we want to flip around naming or do anything interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I think you're both hitting on, and actually Chris Coyer, I think, touched on this when he featured Slinkity on CSS Tricks, right? Where he said like he really likes Slinkity's concept and Astro's concept, and like where you're taking this I think you just said it where like you're kind of opting into JavaScript as it's needed, but not kind of coming out with it out of the box, and kind of finding that in the middle space between 100% JavaScript and no JavaScript, just like those
Right.
pockets, those islands.
Yeah. There's one little piece of the pie that neither tool has solved yet, which is like global state management. Like, what if
Mm,
you got Redux? This is not a single page app. These are different
yeah.
routes that sort of reload when you go to them. It doesn't mean it's impossible. Actually, the original version of Slinkity that I was advertising, I got single page apps working. But the global, like if you wanted to use a React context or something, it wouldn't wire it up correctly.
Okay.
But I could see a future where you could opt into being a single page app as well. And you could just
Interesting.
say, I want to provide global state to all my React components. And then we find a way to pull that down and load it into your little islands.
That's really
Probably
cool.
not as easy as it sounds. There's a reason that was delayed on the Astro roadmap for sure.
Yeah, that
But it
definitely
was at
sounds a
least
bit
talked
tougher.
about. It has been whispered.
Okay.
Um,
I'll
and
make
I would
sure.
love to
Yeah,
work on that as well at some point.
that's
But
cool.
Vue support first. Vue support's coming first.
Yeah, so right now it's
Uh,
just React. Vue and Svelte are on the roadmap, right?
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
Because it's a very flexible setup. Because we literally just go tell Vite, do you know how to compile this? Great, do it for us. We're basically the glue between Eleventy and Vite. So if we
Awesome.
just make sure they talk to each other well enough, we don't have much work to do on our own. We're just kind of the liaison between them. And we
That's
just need a
great.
little Vue pipe that pipes between the Vue static rendering and the Vue hydration that Vite pulls off. So
That's great. I
we'll
mean,
get there.
honestly, if you're able to glue together two fantastic tools like that, I think that's a home run right there. So before we start in on like the project, Adrian has a question about the
Yep.
lazy loading, about only intersection observer route. Any plans on request idle callback?
Yes, this is something that the Astro team does, where the default, or actually no, they have a slight difference between load and idle, which means on load, it will just load all the resources when the page is done parsing. If you've ever put like the async tag on a script before, that's what that means.
Right.
But idle means it's actually going to wait for the page to be done parsing and for all the JavaScript that might exist to be done running. So it's waiting for the main thread to just be calmed down. Nothing is going
Just
on.
got nothing
Now
to
we're
do.
safe to do it with no like choppy scrolling or something. So that's the little difference. So it's very easy to implement as well. It's another web API that says, is the browser idle? Cool, I'll fire a thing. So it's actually easier to implement than intersection observer even. So that will be coming as well once we just ramp through, basically copying Astro's homework one piece at a time.
Okay.
These pieces were just built. Yeah, I was actually working on this project before I had explored Astro at all. We kind of just both arrived at this similar conclusion of this thing should exist. I just said, why not glue it onto Eleventy instead of starting like a new thing?
Awesome.
But yeah, it should be easy to implement. I'll make the issue for you if you're interested.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say that like you are looking for contributors to help out on this. So if you're interested in Eleventy, React, Vite, any of this kind of stuff, like this ecosystem, Ben's probably got some tickets or some stuff to do. So yeah, it seems like a really exciting project. Cool. So
Yeah,
let's make
let's
something.
build a thing.
I'm getting itchy. Yeah, let's do it.
Whew. Yeah, enough talking. All right. So yeah, I think you wrote down on this to-do list that we're going to build an adopt a horse site. This is inspired by a little the final project we had at my college boot camp, where we just wanted to train people to work on websites for our sort of student club. We built websites for nonprofits. If anyone in the Bits of Good audience is there, hello, how are you doing? But our final project at the end of that semester boot camp was to build an animal shelter where you wired up MongoDB and create React app to just sort of have this little database of little cats and dogs you could adopt. So we'll adapt that to an Eleventy site called Adopt a Horse. And we will not be using a database because that will take time. We'll probably just write some like static JSON files and work with those, which
Cool.
Eleventy makes very easy to do.
Okay.
I will also shout out though. I think Lucy has a plugin to get Prismic working. If
Yes.
anyone wants to go explore that.
Yeah.
I'm
Can
just
someone
not a
drop that
Prismic
link?
person. So yeah,
I literally am a Prismic person. That's literally my job.
you
Yeah.
are
Shout
Mr.
out to
Prismic. Yes.
Prismic. I Mr. Prismic is my father. Please call me Alex. No.
My dad works at Prismic.
Yeah.
I love it.
No. Yeah. So Lucy, my coworker, made a fantastic, and she's in the chat, made a fantastic plugin for Prismic and Eleventy. And yeah, if you could drop that in the chat, Lucy, we're going to be getting our hands on that. Not today, but quite soon. I'm very excited to integrate a headless CMS with Eleventy, because I see a lot of Markdown being used, and I think it's kind of a perfect thing for quick builds and a headless CMS. Shameless plug, absolutely. That's what we're here. I am completely shameless. All right, let's build our horse project. Do we need a whole new folder and everything?
No, we can work from here.
I think so.
One preference I do have though is whipping up a source folder and
Okay.
working from there.
SRC?
Because yeah,
Cool.
because by default, Eleventy doesn't have an input folder, which means like if you make a README, it'll accidentally process your README.
Yeah,
if you make
I was gonna
anything
say,
that you
this
forget
feels
to ignore,
very
it's like
just kind of like spread out on the floor. It's kind of just, yeah, it felt a little
Eleventy
funny
loves
to me.
that. They
Cool.
love that. But we can just make an input folder. We can name it whatever we've called source. So put our index.html in there
Okay.
and our includes folder. And I forgot to
includes.
explain it, but includes is like a junk drawer in Eleventy
Okay.
land, where it's like includes isn't touched by Eleventy. It is just things that you import into other things. So our React components are a great example of that.
Okay.
Where we import them into existing routes, and then we tell it, go copy it to the build. I know you don't normally do that, but copy it to the build for us. And that's kind of it. So
Okay.
we've piggybacked on the junk drawer philosophy and just put in a components folder that you can use.
Nice. Cool. So,
yes.
so just to reiterate that, it's not going to look in here for things to build. This is just like, it knows to leave this alone.
Correct.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. Nice.
Yeah. And now you can run the same Slinkity serve command, but with -- import, -- input equals source.
After serve like this?
Yeah, any order, I think.
Okay. SRC in quotes or just regular like that?
On Windows, it might matter. Seems to be good. It still found the same source. Yep.
All right. Seems to be good.
Okay, I think we're good.
Let's get rid of this margin.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go horse. Chat, we're going to need you to help us come up with a great title for our horse adoption ranch. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Chat, you got to... No, it's fine, Ben. Chat's got to help us here. You've already created Slinkity. You can't do it all. I know, Ben. Focus in. All right, here we go. So we've got our thing up and running. We still have our glass counter. I don't know if we're going to need that, but we've got it so far. So what are we going to do now?
Yeah. Since we have an hour, I think it would be more interesting if we start with the browse page, which is just going to pull in a bunch of horses and give us an overview of who we can adopt, I guess. So what you can start with is just markdown files in the source folder, one for each horse you want to lovingly describe.
Okay.
I do not know. We need some
carrots.md.
Carrots.md.
Carrots. Are we doing front matter? Horse adoption. 8070 says horse adoption. There you go. That's draft horse. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Foster foal. That's really good.
Foster foal.
They're coming. See, I told you. Like, chat's got it. Chat's got it. We'll check back in a minute. Okay, so am I doing front matter here? Like name?
Yeah, you can throw down anything. Yeah, we can put down name. You will need the triple dash on the top and bottom of your front matter though. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and we'll be applying some like filters and stuff just for fun. So, yeah, length.
They measure them in hands. That's all I
They
know.
do?
Yeah, that's how you measure
Oh
a
my
horse, in
God. I
hands.
thought that was a joke. Oh my
Nope.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if 15's a lot or a little, but that's what carrots is, and
I
I don't
mean,
judge. I don't judge
my
carrots.
hands are pretty small, but maybe. I could see it.
Yeah. Color orange.
Orange, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And what else are we looking at? Age, right?
Age, sure.
Age, she's 6. Cool.
Sure.
Orphanage. Orphanage. See? Chat. Pony
God,
Pals is great.
wow.
Front end horse.
Pony
87.
pals.
Love it. All right, cool. So we've got carrots that marked down. Do we want anything else in here? Do we want like some actual content here?
Yeah, you can throw down like a description.
You just want to do lorem? Do I have a? I don't
Lorem
have a
horsum.
Lorem horsum. Oh, that's a future project for
I don't
sure.
know. Yes, it
Carrots is a lovely,
Yeah.
and gentle horse. Adopt her. Cool. All right. We
love
got
it.
carrots. Let's make another one, right?
Yeah, and maybe use lowercase letters. I don't know.
Cool.
I
Okay.
know this will be a URL at the end of the day, so to avoid case sensitivity.
Got it. Good call. Rename lowercase c for carrots. Blaze is he is 18 hands.
18 hands.
I think I did lowercase the other one. He's 8. And I'm going to just keep the same thing. Sure. It's also a lovely and gentle horse.
Yes, he
cool.
is.
Oh, here we go. Wilser brings in the knowledge. One hand is 4 inches. So I guess it's a hand across, right? Or is...
Oh, yeah.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3... I don't know. It might be that way. Carrot is 60 inches or 5 feet tall. So not that tall. Unless you're 5 feet, then you're plenty tall. No judgment. But okay, so like...
I'm 5'6",
like
okay?
20 hands. Cool. All right. So
20 sounds good.
yeah. So carrots? No, we shouldn't see anything.
Yeah,
right
now
yet.
they're routes,
Okay.
which is cool.
Wait.
But
So
one thing
I
you can
can go to carrot. Carrots.
You can go to carrot. Go ahead. Carrots. Oh, you have to put a trailing slash. This is a problem with Veach right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's built to be a single page app. But when you do the production build, you don't need the trailing slash. If Netlify handles that for you, it's fine.
Okay.
But you need it in Veach. So yeah, now we have a page, and we can do all sorts of things if we want, like applying layouts. I think what I would want to do maybe is throwing a tag on all of our horses. This is a special feature in Eleventy.
Okay.
That will help us figure out our horse pages and pull them into a browse page pretty much.
Got it.
So you could say, I can't remember if it's tag or tags. If someone in the chat remembers.
Find out.
I believe it's tags. Plural.
Marlon says he had to look it up and found this too. A horse is measured from the top of its withers, not from the top of its head. Now we need to figure out what withers is. That's interesting. But yeah, if anyone knows if it's tag or tags, but what should the tag be? Horse? Just...
Yeah. I think it's plural tags because you can just apply as many as you want.
Okay.
Yes.
Tags.
Thanks,
according
Dan.
to Dan. The back. Thank you, Marlon.
Yep. And you can throw the same tag onto Blaze. And they're in the same directory, but we could also just like say every... Actually, no, that's too complicated.
Okay.
Well, let's do this.
Cool.
Okay.
We got 2
we
horses.
We have tags now.
They both have a tag.
Yes. So one thing we could try is a layout here.
Okay.
This is not Slinkity specific. Just
Yeah.
kind of proving your Eleventy stuff still works. But in the underscore includes folder, you can make like a horse.html.
Okay. So we put like templates and things in this includes folder also.
Yes.
Got it.
Because it's imported.
Got it.
Shouldn't be a page. So we could just emit this HTML:5.
Cool.
Yeah. Enter. And now we have this. And we can do all sorts of things. Like, for example, in our front matter, I believe we called it name.
Yep.
In here, we could say curly name, and it would pick up on that front matter to slot into our heading.
Okay.
And then you could say like in the body, you could also say H1 name.
Same curlies.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then lastly, not quite. That's a
Yeah,
good guess actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's good at
So
guessing, but
it's
still,
good.
it's
So yeah.
rarely spot on.
Yeah. The rest of this is just an outlet for our content, which is our
Okay.
loving horse description. So you could just say curly curly and then content.
Cool.
And that should work.
All right.
Now we just need to wire up our layout into our pages. So if you go to carrots, since that's the one we're looking at, you can just add layout : horse.
And Steph, who has some horse expertise, says the top of its shoulder bones where the front of the saddle lines up. Interesting. We're learning more and more about horses every time we do a stream. Okay,
That's
cool.
crazy.
So,
okay.
should we refresh
now we
this?
refresh this guy. There he is. Carrots.
Nice.
And then we have a page title.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That was simple.
And another thing I want to show off is wiring up styles is ridiculously easy.
Okay.
What we can go ahead and do is, well, first we need to, I guess you can write a styles.css.
Okay. Just write in source.
And you can just put that somewhere. I think that'll work. Yeah. Go ahead and do that.
Where would you like it?
Put it in source.
Okay.
Yes.
Styles.css. Cool.
Yes. And what do you want to do? Or maybe just styling our horse page, fonts, colors, something.
Just
something.
Go ahead. Just do like font family. Let's do a. Let's see. Let's pick a good one. What's a good one? Lucida Sant. That feels like the font we're going for this.
I like that.
For this one. We're not gonna mess with the font size and that. Don't come in here with that.
10 point.
People do that.
Saying print.
See, just make sure. Okay, so should we see a change with that?
We should not yet.
Okay.
We have to just wire up some things. Actually, you can make that SAS as well if you wanted to.
Okay.
Like just make it SCSS.
Cool. And Vite will handle that without a plugin or anything?
Yeah, it just works.
Cool.
It's crazy how much it just works.
Yeah.
So we have our SCSS file. The two things we need to do is first we need to say, Eleventy, please copy this to my _ site. And then we need to just add a link tag to our layout that imports our styles. So
okay.
The first thing you can do for that.
Okay.
Yeah, that part's easy. If you just want to add link rel style sheet into the head, yes.
What's the there we go.
Well, that'll do.
What's the emmet for that?
So I don't know. Yeah,
either.
I think for this just do a backslash to say base directory or forward. Yeah, I think forward. I don't know how Windows works. It's one of them. So yeah,
good.
/ style.scss.
Ah, right. Oh, wait. SCSS in here?
Yeah. Go for it. Let's do it. And then we need to, this part is a little more nuanced, but we have to tell Eleventy to copy this to the build folder. We might automate this through Slinkity at some point. But what you had was good. We actually don't want /source.
Okay, cool.
Because the problem right now is styles.scss isn't being copied to _ site because that's where Vite looks.
Okay.
Yes. You'll see it's not there right now.
Right.
It also doesn't delete like old things, but oh well. So what you'll need to do is add a little Eleventy configuration here.
Okay.
It's not scary. Just make a file at the base of the project called .eleventy.js. Yes. And this, you can say module.exports equals function. And that function receives an Eleventy config.
Okay.
And this is like the config object that you can just sort of pipe things onto. And I believe what you want to do is Eleventy config dot add templates, add template formats. and then in parentheses, SCSS.
That?
Yes.
Okay.
And we should see once you save that something nice. Okay. Did it copy?
It worked.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
Okay, so let me just kind of go back to what we just did. So we added an Eleventy.js file to our root, and we just did a really simple bit of config here. This isn't like a huge complex like Webpack going through and figuring a whole bunch of crap out. It's pretty straightforward.
No.
And then all we had to do was in our actual index file, in our template file, we're actually able to point towards SCSS files, and I'm guessing here it's not even there. Where did it go? Oh, because hold on.
Right.
It's here.
It's in no, that's Carrot's copy. Yeah, it was from a typo, but
got it.
yes,
okay.
It is still SCSS. And that's because of what I mentioned earlier, where it's just doing everything on the fly. Like it'll just go look at your page like, oh, SCSS, I can do that. And then it just finds it.
Okay,
but if you want to like,
when it builds, it's going to be pointing to a
builds.
CSS file. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We can actually
really cool.
just do a build right now if you want, just to see what the heck that is.
We can do that like towards
at the end.
I feel like we're getting some steam.
At the end.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep steaming. Let's not expose more bugs, you know? Okay, so styles.scss, we've got it. Our pages look great. Now let's aggregate those pages into a little browser, maybe.
Super quick.
I love the confetti.
Eco math. Yeah, the confetti's fun. Yeah, I can't do the custom emotes though. 8070. I still have not figured it out. Cody, hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. Ecomat says, curious if there's a difference between that and adding a pass-through file copy.
So the answer is no.
Okay.
We were just doing add template formats so we could put it in our source folder and it'll go through. But for those unaware, add pass-through file copy is a way to copy directories outside of source into the build. So like a common approach to Sass is to have like an _styles folder, and you say, copy this folder to the output directory, and then I'll be able to wire up my imports that way. So if you wanted to like make your own styles folder and copy it to the build, sure. But this is a way to just loosely throw them into the source folder and have them exist without having to do any of that.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, I was not familiar with that. Ronak, I'm not familiar with Solidity, but it does look pretty cool. I have not played with
Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, might have to.
And Slinkity Solidity sounds great.
Does.
So we'll need to do.
Cool. So we were gonna aggregate, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, make like a homepage for our horses.
Okay.
We could probably just make a new, or we could just use an existing one. I wanted to use this to demo like component pages. So let's try to make a horses.jsx file.
Ooh,
actually.
So in our components?
No, just alongside our other routes. JSX is just another format we've unlocked to write pages. If you want.
So just in like next to our index.html, like in our source directory. So this is horses.jsx.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yep. And now we have that. Nice shortcut. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have horses.
It's the reason why I struggle to like do anything when it comes to CodePen, because I lose all my snippets. And I'm like, how do I do anything at all?
I know.
Because I come back to VS Code with like boop boop, and it just fills out a thing for me. So
I know.
Yeah.
Where's my IntelliSense? Oh, it's so annoying. But I love CodePen.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's just
use it all the time.
Cool. All right, we got horses. So now what are we doing here? Are we taking in props of horses, or how are we going to get the horses?
Not yet.
From?
But really if you want to check at least, we should have a page now.
Okay. Hey,
it's just called horses. Page. Yeah, this is the page. And now if you just go to /horses with the trailing slash. Yes. Yep.
Huh.
Oh, do you have the trailing slash in there?
I do. I can't really make that any bigger. Let's
Interesting.
see.
Let's look at our
Index
underscore site potentially.
underscore site. Okay. Horses.jsx. Hey, this is the page. I'm gonna
Yep.
hit a
And then we
hard
should have,
refresh.
oh, we don't have our static output, oddly enough. Um,
Like
do
in
you
a folder?
mind deleting your underscore site and
Yeah,
restarting the server? Maybe?
sure. I'll kill this first. And then delete. Oh, that was quick for once. All right, cool. Still input src, just like that.
Yes.
Cool. And yeah, so that's something that you would put into like a package JSON.
Yes. And now we see it there. It generated horses
Ah,
HTML from our JSX file.
very
So
cool. Now, just for I I can if I like JSX and nunchucks and whatever else, I can have horses.jsx, but also like locations.nunchucks, right? Like I can
sure.
mix all those together, and Slinkity and Eleventy are just going to handle it and spit out HTML files at the end of the day.
Yeah, this is part of their add extension API, which is now a thing, which basically says I'm going to add a new extension for Eleventy to recognize as a page. And I'll
Okay.
tell it, here's what the output should look like. Go make an HTML file out of this component.
Awesome.
And it works super similar to our shortcode, where it outputs the
Got it.
JSX file and then outputs an HTML file that goes and loads it in for us. So
Cool.
it's like a way to make a full page shortcode
Yeah, and this is very
of
similar to what
React.
you showed us before with the glass counter, right? It's pretty much the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Awesome.
So if we head back to our
Yeah.
browser, we should see it.
Hey, this is the page.
There, this is the page. Okay,
Cool.
Times New Roman and all.
Yeah.
So let's put stuff on the page.
Okay.
And you are right about props, but we need to do something fancy here. Are you familiar with Next.js?
Yes. So like a get
Okay.
static
This
props
is
kind of thing.
going, it's just called get props, but
Okay.
yes. And so you just export a function called get props, and that function will receive Eleventy data, which is basically just all the data in the universe that Eleventy knows about.
Okay.
And at least to start, you can go ahead and just console log Eleventy data, and we can see what it looks like.
Cool. Why is it yelling at me?
Declaration or
Sorry.
Oh, function. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need the word function.
There we go. Cool.
Excellent. So now in your server console, actually, not
Okay.
the client console, because this gets run at build time.
Right. That makes sense. So I'm gonna hit refresh here. Oh, that doesn't matter. It's gonna
Oh, you
be
have to
based
scroll
on
up in
this.
your
Yeah.
yes.
I just hit save
And we
here.
see it up there. All right. Yeah, this is everything that this page could use as a prop if you wanted to. So these are some things that Eleventy provides for you, like the name of your package, if you care about such a thing, your environment, your config variable,
Wow.
information about the page. Like if you have a blog and you want to pull in like when was this blog published, you
Right.
can use page.date, and there it is. You have all like the file system stuff, like the name of the input path if you're doing something fancy. Collections, which you can see right there. We have a horse collection from our tags that we're going to use. Yeah. And then we have shortcodes, which if anyone was wondering at home, like I want to use image or the image optimization trick in my React component. This is how you do it. You can go call the image optimizer if you have it as a shortcode, and then return from your get props everything that you want. I might be getting ahead of myself there.
Is that an Eleventy thing?
That is something that they let you install as a plugin.
Okay.
I actually just gave a meetup talk on Eleventy image, which is why it's on my mind.
Nice.
But you can add Eleventy image as a plugin, and then you can write a little shortcode that says, given this source image, spit out a bunch of different file formats and sizes so I can have like a optimized version of it. It's kind of like what Cloudflare does. Cloudinary. That's who I'm thinking of. It's very similar to that.
I just made that same mistake speaking to someone who works at Cloudinary Just I always confuse
Yeah,
Cloudflare and Cloudinary. It's just every time, and I'm
it's
always
all in the
wrong. I
cloud.
always flip it.
It's all in the cloud.
Cool. Okay, so this is all available to us as okay. So here, and then this will get passed through. Like whatever we return from this will get passed in as props here.
Correct.
Awesome.
And I mean, the common question is like, why can't Eleventy data just get passed to my component? Why do I have this like get props at all? And the reason is we don't want you to ship all that data that you just console logged to the end user.
Okay.
Because if you shipped like every collection in the universe and you only needed the
On
date
every
object,
page.
that's a big old JSON blob
Right.
that the
So a
client has to
sensible
like
default.
parse and download. So yeah, this is just a way to say, I want to filter out all that noise and I just
Cool.
want to get my horses. So it's a filter.
That's just a classic, like every day I want to filter out all that noise and just give me my horses. Like
Just give me my
I
horses.
just want the horses.
Exactly.
All right, so we're looking at so Eleventy data dot collections dot horse, right?
Yes. And we'll probably
And
want to do a map over that horse to get like the parts of the horse we like. But for now, you can just return 11data.collections.horse, as you said.
okay,
And you'll want to do an object as well so that it can be a named prop on the other side.
so horses like this.
Yes.
Cool.
And now your component has access to horses. You have unlocked horse. Good job.
So
Yeah, now we can look at it on the client if we want.
let's take a look at
Yes.
that first
What is
horse.
our forced?
Forced horse.
First horse. The force horse.
All right. Let's put this out a little console. All right.
There he is.
Wow, we got a lot here. Okay,
Our
so
horse.
we've got. Can everyone read that all right? That's probably better.
Yes.
Cool. So we got template content. So we can do. Would we do like a dangerously set inner HTML with this? Is that what we're gonna?
We'd get dangerous if we wanted to use the content. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Uh,
Got a date.
yeah,
Is
that's
this
really
just
the only way.
when I created that file? Is that what this date's
That
coming
is,
from?
we could say it's a horse's birth date, but it's when it was created on the file system. Yes.
It was created 8 minutes ago. This
Yeah.
horse was birthed
Baby horse.
8 minutes ago, and then there's all
Yeah.
my data. Cool.
There's all your data.
With a little.
So
extra
now
stuff.
we should be good to, I don't know, make some cards showing off our horses. Maybe
Yeah.
a link to go visit our horse.
Okay, so from
can do
like
all sorts
from
of things.
here on out, it's essentially React. It's the React that I am familiar with, where like I've got my object, I can create some new components for like horse card. I can pass props to that horse card and render it out inside that horse card, right? Like that's
Yes.
the world's my oyster.
It sure is.
Awesome. All right, cool. So yeah.
Also,
let's do that.
sorry
So
to interrupt momentum, but can I step away to use the bathroom for 30 seconds?
sorry, the contract you signed. Okay,
Dang
fine,
it.
go for it. I'm gonna work on this.
I'm ripping that up. Yes.
Cool.
Just make some cards.
Just
We
go
should
for
be
it.
good.
I'm gonna go over to
Just
solo
go for it.
desktop, and there we go. It's like you weren't even here.
Wow.
Cool. Go for it. Yeah. So data, we got age. All right. Horses. Yeah, we just need to pull data off that, right? Yeah. The rest we don't really need, chat. So data. But actually, we're gonna do what Ben said and kind of go here. We can actually map over that and make something a little bit better. So const horses equals Eleventy data. Let's just copy this out. Dot horse dot map horse. It's actually data off of that. Return this object. Marcella redeemed hydrate and stretch. Nice, I appreciate. Is it only me or here Ben a little more? You mean on volume wise or just right now, Ogilvy? Is it? Oh, sorry, I got to catch up on eco math. Is it still a bug that you can't use custom template syntaxes for layouts? Or is that specific to the view templating with
I am
11?
back.
Hey, welcome back. We got a question from EcoMath in the chat. Is it still a bug that you can't use some template syntaxes for layouts specific to the view templating with Eleventy?
It must have been, because I'm documenting it because I want to test that it works, but you can make a JSX and it should 80% sure work correctly. And you can use the same like static versus eager loading there.
Cool. Nice.
We can try it. But
sweet. Okay, so I'm doing in that we are setting up a horses like off of that. So data. Let me go back to here. We had data. We need the age, the color, the layout. Maybe I don't think the layout. Color,
no.
length, name. Off. Else, page, package, tag. So, oh, and then content.
I think we're good.
We need the template content.
Yeah, I would also maybe use the route, make like a link to go visit the page.
Ooh, okay, cool. Where's that?
It's one of these.
URL.
URL. Yeah, that's the one we want. Backslash.
Right. URL. Cool. So now we can return an object that just this stuff.
Yeah, just flatten.
And then horses equals a map. That's why. Yeah, no, that should be fine. It should return an array of.
I think you're good. You just need a closing parenthesis.
Thank you. Sort of why I was getting. Cool.
And now you have it. Yes.
All right, so let's log out horses again. We should be good. Yep, there we go. We got our two horses. We got our and black. And so now we can do exactly that. Message horse is life 8070 says. All right, so return. Yeah, we're looking good. So now let's go ahead and make that component like you were saying. Let's just, we haven't really used any components since class counter. So let's go ahead and do horse card.
Sure. Yeah.
Classic horse card component that we've all made in our React projects. It's kind of a must-have.
Yeah, r.jsx in 15 folders and not knowing which one does which. It's usually where I end up.
Find your horse card at that point, though. So it's
I know.
It's kind of rough. All right, so we can just go in H2 in here, and then we can do.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, sure enough.
Smart robot. And then color. Could do.
Yeah.
What's the semantic thing here?
I wonder if we could use a DL.
See, that's exactly where my brain goes. Ever since Ben's blog post, it's a DLTD situation.
Actually, this could be.
Sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. The issue is I don't remember
I do.
DT, DL differences. That's my problem. I don't remember which. Do you?
So DL, yes.
Okay.
It's the wrapper, kind of like UL. DT is a title and DD is the description or definition.
Pay attention more than I do, and then.
Yeah. No, I know ways, but I wasn't brave enough to blog about it. He knows much more than me. Okay.
So this should work. Horses.
Give us something.
We still need
haven't
to
used
import
our card.
It. Yep. Import.
Yeah.
So import.
Just import how you would. Let it autocomplete. Is good.
It doesn't want to.
It's not dot actually.
Yeah, we don't need to go.
I think it's just there. It's just slash includes.
Wait.
Includes.
Like,
you don't have.
Oh my gosh.
Import horse card.
Thank you. Why doesn't it know?
Live coding.
Fun. Yeah. All right. So.
/
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Here we are.
All right. So now into our little horse card. Thing here.
Yeah.
We could probably just pass in. You know what? We can.
Horse 1. Great name.
I think. So horses.
You could throw it on a map.
Yeah.
And it should work pretty.
Look
Oh
at,
my
look at
god.
this. Look
Oh
at this.
no.
Like doesn't have it 100% because
Oh.
horse.id didn't gonna, it doesn't exist on that object.
It's not a thing.
But holy smokes, still. That's still pretty bad. We could probably get an ID off of this. Right? You can probably get an ID
I'm sure
off
there's
of
some ID.
ID. I don't know. Forget
I
it.
think the name is fine.
It's name. But I'm just saying that
It's
doesn't.
Oh, URL is a unique identifier.
True. That like does not scale past the second carrots. You know what I mean? Like it's the only thing from a real project. But horse that
URL is
yes. Yeah. Horse
and,
is
manually.
Yeah. So I
think we had them exposed.
I
you
can
could.
Horse here and then do color.
Oh my god. We should have done that.
Oh, that's really smart. That is like that's really
terrifying.
Smart, right? Hockey trainer owner, is that can't be coming from app. Like that can't, it's just using
maybe.
No. Also, thank you, Lucy. Lucy is a user that I've done a bad job at promoting so far. It is our what we won and what we've learned feature. Basically, if you type in what Lucy just put, exclamation mark I wonder or exclamation mark wonder, how it's with Eleventy, whatever you put after that, we'll capture it and I'll show notes. And so at the end, if it stuff too, you can be like, oh, I learned that. Why is Ben so small in this window? Ben, I'm gonna make you a little bigger.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's because I did a quit setting up this OBS slide. There we go. You're a little bigger. Same thing with I learned, so that it's for us to share our collective curiosity and learning about this topic. The I wonder thing is great because now show we can go back and make sure that we've checked all these questions off, and captured for later on, so that other people can reference and see what questions we were asking about. Thank you, Lucy. I really appreciate it. Just because it's tough, because like a question's really good, but we're in the middle of a thing, and so it's like, do we lose the question and lose our or lose our momentum, right? So
yeah,
I appreciate it. We will hit that by the end.
Yes, but to answer your question,
yeah, go for it.
Since it's a simple answer, it should work. There is a way to do front matter inside of our JSX components as well. So if we wanted to add some JSX to horse and say like it has this tag, it belongs to X collection, it should work as well. I think I don't use pagination all that much. I've worked with collections though, so it should work like any other template.
It's working here. We've got a thing. We've got our little they're not really cards because we don't really have any styles on them.
It's very easy to add.
Okay. Do we just how are we doing styles in React here? Do we just add it?
Yes. So
the template.
I hate to say CSS modules aren't 100% working right now. It's the Eleventy side that still needs to be fixed up, but CSS modules should be a thing in order to scope everything correctly. But the best option for now might be to apply a layout to our JSX here, and that layout will load a style sheet the same way that other layout did.
Okay. How do we do that?
Yes. So you can export a const from here called front matter.
Oh.
Yes. It gets a little interesting because you have two things you can export now. And it's actually a capital M because I was rude and I did a camel. Apparently it's one word and you don't have to.
It is one word and it's weird.
I know. I just didn't like it, so I'm sorry. I own the library, so it's capital M.
All right,
so
make your pull request
you can just
now,
add,
people.
Make the pull request. I might accept it. It's fine. I almost wanted to just allow both, but I might do that. So you can just add layout : whatever layout we're about to make. We could even apply the same one if we wanted to. Actually, no, that would apply a header. So let's make a new one called browse horses, maybe.
Camel or
whatever your preference.
Cool.
Browse horses, yep.
Okay.
And to explain, like, get props is a way to pull down stuff, and front matter is a way to push it up the funnel. So if you're really used to React Helmet, to apply a bunch of stuff, get rid of React Helmet. This is the new way to do it, where you
Okay,
just
so I
kind of
would put
pass
like
things up.
my title here and everything. Is that what?
Yeah, and your layout would have access to it. So you
Okay, got
could,
it. Okay.
yeah, do all sorts of things. Like here's the open graph image for this page, for example,
Got
and you
it.
wire that up in a layout.
So this is part of Slinkity here.
Slinkity is able to, it recognizes front matter as a special thing. And then
Okay.
it'll pass it off to Eleventy and say, hey, here's all the front matter for this page. Go pipe it into the big data blob. And whatever is looking at that data blob has access.
Awesome.
So, yes. And from here, we can make a browse horses.html inside of our includes.
Okay.
And then do the emit.
It's yelling at me. What is
I
it
don't
again?
know why
HTML5?
HTML:5.
Cool.
Cool. Then you can wire up title.
Horse, browse. Horses, cool.
Yes. You could also pull in that title that we, I think, put in.
Oh yeah, let's do that. I think we were thinking about it. But how do I?
Yeah, just title, or yeah. But wow, all right. Perfect.
And then
double braces.
right.
That is the we're using liquid syntax actually.
Interesting.
You can change that to nunjucks. I know that's a mysterious world, but they're similar.
Cool, and there it is. It shows up. So we
now
passed
we've
it from our front
it.
matter into here. Cool.
And now we just need to say in our body, please put my page. So you can say curly curly content.
Oh.
On it. And now we should see yes.
Awesome.
I
so
think that's
this is like a protected word then, and that you need to have that one. Got it. What other kinds of things are special words or special properties inside the front matter? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Right now, I think someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Layout's the only one I know of in Eleventy, but render is also a special one. So if you wanted to say render : static to kill all the JavaScript on this page, because we actually don't have any. You could just say render : static, boom, we ship no JavaScript, but we got to use React because we like that.
Right. That's cool. Okay, so did I?
This happens occasionally, and this is just a problem with Vite. If you refresh, it goes away. That's all I know.
But that's great. Okay, so I can either have it so that it's like I'm declaring it from the outside in or the inside out in terms of this component being static. Is that accurate?
Sort of. Well, yeah, the one way to do it is to
here.
Yes. So short codes are a bit different with how they do props. With the short code, we just say that's kind of a reserved prop that we pick up on. And then on our pages, it's actually front matter. So I guess it's just different terminology, I guess. But I see what you're saying, where you pass static to the component and we pick it up. And in this case, it's the reverse.
Right.
And something really cool that you can do in Eleventy is like say, all the pages in this directory should have this front matter. So like you could say every template in source should have a tag of horse, for example, which is pretty useful if you had like, I don't know, a directory called horses and then you have blaze and carrots in there. You could just say every single markdown file in here has a tag of horse. So I don't have to keep copy pasting that the way that we did.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a little shortcut. And that's also a shortcut to say every like JSX file in this folder should be static. So you could just sort of set a global option. So you don't have to say render static everywhere. It's just ready to go depending on the directory.
That's excellent. I love this static rendering of React. Like it's always what drew me to Gatsby, but then the longer build times and you know, hydrating for no reason definitely is not a selling point for me at this point. So like getting the benefits of Gatsby that I've always enjoyed. Although I do really like the GraphQL data mesh of Gatsby. Like that's one of my
Yes.
favorite parts. Like honestly, working with the Prismic plugin that we just launched, and Gatsby has been so nice. Like the experience has been excellent. Just calling for exactly what I want from my data. That sort of GraphQL interface is always fun, but this is pretty
Yeah.
nice. Like the ability
Yeah,
to yeah. Yeah.
I'll be honest. The version of Slinkity I demoed in the first video used GraphQL to get props. And at the last second, I said, that will scare people, probably, if you're coming from Eleventy. So we're replacing the props GraphQL query with the get props function. So
Okay.
that the main thing is just visibility, because Eleventy data can look like anything. It's very unpredictable. So having the flexibility to like console log, map things easily, like we did here, that's something that GraphQL couldn't really pull off. Like there, we had to
Got it.
map out just the keys we wanted in an array, which the more I'm saying that, the more I realize GraphQL is built for that. But it does allow options for like, I want to rename this key. Wait, GraphQL does that too.
Yeah. It's all good.
I'm
Hey,
forgetting
I mean,
that GraphQL does all this stuff too.
as we're saying, like this is still
It
a
was a
new
choice.
project. Yeah. And honestly, the same way that you might drop the M in front matter down to a lowercase, who knows if GraphQL's in the future again. I think this project is awesome as it is. And I wasn't saying the GraphQL thing in order to like.
No, I just thought it was interesting because that's
Yeah.
where my head went first, because
Got it.
it's the same philosophy of you have this big pipeline of data and you want to grab the bits of that pipeline that you actually need for a given page. Like that's how they only ship the images that you need, I guess.
Got it.
At first it seemed really obtuse. Like I have to type sharp image options and then image source and whatever. But I'm sure that makes the bundle a lot nicer in Gatsby. So it's a similar concept. This is just
Yeah.
more of a raw way to do it.
Yeah, the image stuff can be a little funky, and I think that's part of why they kind of started to move away from that bit. They have a different like
Oh, did
API,
they?
but yeah, the image sharp stuff is always a pain in the butt. Sharp is just a pain in the butt library. It's a fantastic library that does magic, but at the same time, anyone who's used Gatsby in the chat knows that if something's breaking in your Gatsby build, it's sharp. It's going to be sharp. Yeah, 100%, like 99 times out of 100, it's sharp. But yeah, Steph says, hey, Ed, welcome. Good to see you. Steph says, I was considering doing a helmet-inspired Eleventy plugin. Haven't researched if it exists yet. That'd be interesting. I'm sure. I am excited to see that tomorrow, Steph, when you release it.
Yes, exactly.
I'll
make sure it works with Slinkity.
Steph is fantastic at just being like, I have an idea for a thing, and I'm like, oh, that's neat. That's cool if you do that someday. She's like, oh, it's done now. I'm like,
yeah,
it's been
on
5 hours.
helmet.hey. It's right there. Just go visit.
Horse card. All right, so getting this horse card. Where'd my horse card go? Components. Here we go. Horse card. All right, so it's got. This is like an article. I don't want Ben yelling at me.
Idea.
So actually, and we're gonna need one of these to be a link at some point, but maybe not. Yeah, I guess we probably should, right? Because we do have the URL.
Yeah, we do have the URL.
And we don't really have any routing. Is there anything like React Router for Eleventy, or it's just all HTML, so you don't even need it? Like it's
straight HTML, yeah.
So
which means the page refreshes. You can't have page transitions. That's why one thing that Slinkity I see an opportunity for, because of Eleventy's sort of layout engine. There is not even engine. It's just you can use layouts. There is a way to say like these two pages share the same layout. Animate the difference between those two pages. So like if you had a nav bar and a layout, they would stay stationary because they both use the same layout. And then the page underneath could have some swooshy animation or something. And I have a version of that working that will be ported over at some point. Again, I shipped on a Tuesday.
That's super cool.
Once it's there,
this is so
it wouldn't solve the global state management problem, but it's actually very easy to just ship like a little single page app setup that says, go import using the fetch command or something. Go fetch this HTML file, figure out the difference in the layouts, and then apply this transition that I want. And then it would just kind of work, because now we can chuck anything we want in your bundle. So, as dangerous as that sounds. It
Y'all are
could be
gonna convert
interesting.
me to Eleventy, honestly. It's with you, Ben, Steph, everyone here. It's gonna happen. And Steph, thank you so much for that gifted sub. I was not trying to bribe you into doing that, but I really, really
Well
appreciate
done.
it. Yeah, super, super kind. Thank you so much. And Wilster's got a sub. Awesome, fantastic person to get it. Cool. So we've got wrap. I don't know this H2. I always forget which way it should be. Should it be the A wrapping the H2 or the H2 wrapping the A? I always or something wrapping
It
this
should
like.
be, I think the A should be inside of that
Okay.
because A's are display inline.
That's a good reason.
I've Stack Overflowed this before because
I always do, and then
it's
I
like,
go,
I
I'm
want
gonna
the
remember
whole
that,
card.
and then I don't. Yeah, and we could do the whole
Yeah,
trick of making
like a,
this. Yeah, doing the what's it called, the pseudo element that I learned from
yep,
Ben Myers just the other day. It's an awesome trick. Close
yeah.
up class counter. So we've got browse horses. I don't think we're getting our CSS. We're not. Link.
Yes.
How do you?
Let's
There we
see if
go.
I can guess it.
Nice. So style. Is it styles? Yeah, it is.
I don't
Cool.
remember. Okay, cool. And
See?
I think you will need a / on that
Got it.
so that it knows to get it from the base directory.
Nice. All right. Those are looking
Yeah.
like
All
garbage, but
right.
it's my garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It
But
is
it's
my
got
yeah.
borders.
It does. And and it just shows that the styles are coming through. So that's fantastic. So we've got horse card, we got horses JSX. Let's put a div around this. This is just, let's see, class name. Class main, am I right?
Class
Am I?
main. Am I right?
Uh,
I'll write a
uh,
JSX compiler that uses horse main. There we go. Horse.
uh,
Is it plural? Oh, we're gonna make it.
yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of garbage right now.
Just doing it.
Display,
Grid it, flex it. I don't know.
Yeah, gap, one rem. Love it.
Shout out
So
to the
good.
hot reloading.
Right?
way.
That's a really good point. I'm taking that for granted, but that's really nice. Padding,
Yeah.
one rem. Awesome.
Yeah. The beautiful thing is it's just reprocessing your CSS and it's not rebundling React. Like it has no work to do other than go check on CSS.
That's awesome. Border box, cool. Just do a little bit of that. Awesome. And Killian says links can be block elements now. It doesn't matter. Okay, so you're going back to that question. Lucy says, my issue with the pseudo element trick is that it prevents the user from selecting text.
Can it?
Oh.
I thought if you sort of z-index your way out, well, then it's like, yeah, because you can't highlight the text. It's now a clickable link. I've seen that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point, Lucy. And Killian, yes, we are still going. We're coming up on the 2 hours in about 5 minutes or so. So we'll wrap up these gorgeous cards.
Wow, we've come so far.
We've gotten really. Hey, this is the page. Everyone knows. But yeah, I'm more here. Let's finish up with browse. Here we go. Browse horses. Here we go. From ponies to thoroughbreds, we have the horse that you should adopt, or that
I
you're
love it.
looking to adopt. Give these hooved, H-O-O-V-E-D, hooved? Hoof?
Hoved? Hoved? Hoft? There, that's a great way to just dance your
Boom.
way out.
Nailed it. Nailed
Well
it.
done.
There it is.
Wow. There it
so
is.
to anyone coming in right now and going, wow, this isn't fancy. This is actually pretty freaking cool. And I want to kind of like go through it to make sure that I'm fully appreciating what we just did. We've got our home page that is just a straight up, and we can remove that. Wait, where's our, homepage. We can remove this because we're not really using the water thing at this point. But we've got a homepage that's basically just HTML. So we can build a page from straight HTML, and that's cool. But then right next to that file, we can add a horses.jsx or a whatever the heck.jsx. And because it's in that home file, Eleventy is going to pick it up and say, I'm going to make this into a page, right? Is that pretty much correct?
Totally right.
Awesome. Yep. And then because of Slinkity, we've added in that little bit that's that Eleventy now sees JSX as a potential page file or a potential file type that it can make a page from, right?
Yep.
And then we can just use React, baby. We're just cooking with gas at that point. We can pull in cards the same way that we are. We can get our data from get props, and that gives us all of this markdown data that Eleventy's already gone through and processed. It's pulled off our front matter, so we can actually like query by it, or we can at least like filter it out with list functions and stuff. There's not much querying because we just get the whole like payload, right? We just get the
yeah.
We just get everything, and then we can mold it the way that we want, and that's exactly what we did here. We flattened it out, just the stuff that we wanted, and we get a nice clean little object of or we get a clean array of each horse, and then we can pass that through to components. And yeah, we have an Eleventy site that uses React templating, but also can render statically so that we're not sending JavaScript to the client if we don't need it, right? Like this site can just exist statically. Let me go back to the actual page. This can just be static, especially this one, especially how far I've gotten. There's no reason to send JavaScript for this, right? Like there's a link. It's like basic HTML markup, but me liking React, I love this workflow. This is fantastic. So I don't have to have that overhead bundle of Gatsby or something like that in order to get really a site that should be built on something like Eleventy. This is so cool. Yeah. This is really, really cool.
That's it.
Yeah, the ability to work with like front matter and everything. This makes sense. Okay, last question. How would I fetch data kind of like in the abstract sense? So like where would that part happen if I wanted to make say all of my horses were, instead of being in markdown files here, they were in a CMS or something. Is that a much bigger question than I'm saying it is?
No, small question.
Cool.
There's a few different ways to do it. So you can do it the Eleventy way, which is you make a file with the same name. So you would say for horses.jsx, I'll make a horses.eleventydata.js, and that can just be an async function that does whatever you want. Alternatively, I've made get props compatible with async. So if you want to just be a Next.js person and do all your fetching inside of get props, why not? It's just not going to be visible to Eleventy. So if you wanted to have a fetch function that like fetches for every page in a directory, then you would use Eleventy data to like pass it to everyone. But if you just want to do it like this page, I want to await a fetch, just use get props. It's Next.js. Like we just made Next.js.
Okay, so you've got some Astro, but also some Next.js DNA in here where you're pulling in some stuff for like get props. That's really cool.
Yeah, Astro's wild. They have like little front matter tags, and you just write JavaScript in the front matter tags, which is like that's some next level.
That's cool.
We got this. But
this is
take what you can get.
Fantastic. Absolutely. That's really cool. No, that was a nice succinct answer to that question. I'm excited to dip into that sort of thing. And pulling in the styles was really easy. Is pretty much everything compatible with this now? Like, can I pull in my favorite like Chakra UI or whatever styled components? Like, is all that stuff compatible here, or is there some other issues that we might run into?
It all depends. You never know what you're going to get. But if it's just like it's a JavaScript library that I import into React, great. It just depends on if it has some pre-processing, like styled components. It needs to generate like style tags and put it in your build. Right. It has some specialness that we still need to work out.
Got it.
CSS modules is the same way.
Got it.
But for stuff like that, where you have like import my UI library components, maybe import some style sheets from there. You saw how easy it is to just throw in a style sheet and copy it.
Right.
It should work with any UI library that you want to use. And you could say static, instead of shipping material UI 50 kilobytes, ship nothing.
Oh,
We actually
wow.
we got a tweet the other day from someone saying they're workshopping their company's design system with Slinkity, and they like it a lot. I don't know if they're using static rendering, but I have a feeling that would be a great way to do it,
Yeah.
because you just need the visual components.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Cool. So I just want to kind of make sure we hit the question. Yep. I wonder how Slinkity works with Eleventy pagination. You did touch on that. I don't think we got any learned, but like I said, I'm not promoting this as well as I should be. So we will definitely get onto that. But Ben, man, thank you for coming on. I'm so glad we got past that initial hiccup of, right, we
I
need
was
a
so scared.
package, a package file. I know. Shout out to
Yeah.
Marlon. Marlon, thank you so much for being here and for helping us fix that. That was fantastic. Everybody, we have an awesome, awesome week. We have, let me go over to the Twitch show thing. Built this out. I still need like a cool graphic back here, or maybe some like, I'm thinking like a video that just kind of loops. I don't know. I need something back here. It's very plain. I know. But this is today. We will rebuild this, but we are learning about shaders on Thursday. I'm really excited for this. Liam makes some phenomenal stuff. Make sure that you are here to learn from Liam. And then we're learning more Eleventy, and I'm so excited. We're going to dig into Eleventy with Ben Myers, another fantastic Ben who loves Eleventy. I just hang out with Bens who like Eleventy. Basically, is my whole thing. That's past episodes, and then upcoming shows. It was mentioned a bunch today, but we actually are working with Astro and Prismic in September. So definitely come back around and see what they're cooking up. Also gonna be showing off the new WASM based compiler there. So I'm
It
interested
got
in that.
WASM now? Oh my
That's
god.
what. Hey, but I
That's
mean,
crazy.
yeah,
No,
but
I'm the
it's
biggest fan. I'm the biggest freaking
cool.
fan of
No,
Astro.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yeah. So got a lot of fun stuff coming up. So definitely follow if you aren't already following. Thank you so much for being here, and yeah, come back Thursday because we have something. Shaders are so cool. They feel like freaking superpowers, honestly. And I'm so excited to just like have someone sit with me and walk me through like really making one. And I get to ask questions. So chat, we're gonna get to like figure out shaders and finally like get into them and make our own for the first time. So, or at least my own for the first time. So definitely be here for that. And Ben, can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it. Anything else you want to plug? Peloton, Slinkity, anything else?
Uh, to slinkity.dev,
Yeah,
y'all.
let's
Go check out the
drop
guide.
that.
Go star the repo. Star
Yes,
that.
definitely do it. And
Click the
also,
button.
if they want to help out with this, what can they do?
Yes. Follow Ben on Twitter. Great
Yes.
advice.
Yeah, let's
You
pull
can
that
go
up.
ahead and you can DM the slinkity.dev for sure. Check out the issue logs and comment on those if you're at all interested. If you happen to be in the Front End Horse Discord, I'd
Yes.
be happy to talk shop on all this stuff. There's no
Awesome.
official Slinkity Discord or anything. We're not that cool yet.
The
But
Front End
if
Horse
there's
Discord
enough demand, we might do it.
is the Discord for everyone who doesn't want to deal with starting their own Discord. So your home is my home, friend. All right. So yeah, absolutely ask all. We've got a poppin' Eleventy channel in that Discord. So absolutely join, ask those questions, and yeah, we will see you there. And I will catch you on Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. Hang in though. We're gonna find somebody to raid. Don't go anywhere. See you on Thursday.